So, the First Descendant recently got an interesting update from the game's director. Seems that the infamous XP, Gold, and Kuiper Shard Farm, also known as the Valby Run, caught the attention of the devs, and there was some interesting things said about it. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another First Descendant video. My name is Gruzbee, and the Catgirl mascot is Fumi-chan. We're like the crumbs at the bottom of a can of Pringles. You hate to see them, but you always end up enjoying it anyway. Do me a favor before we get too deep into this and let me know what changes you'd like to see implemented in the First Descendant, whether that be quality of life improvements, game mechanics, or if you're really weird, maybe you want to see more items added to the grind. Let me know in the comments, and while you're down there, slap that like button like it's a greedy teammate running defense with you at Kingston. So, the Valby Run is one of those interesting game exploits that, we all knew was going to be nerfed into oblivion by the dev team as soon as they realized what was happening. And to everyone's surprise, well, it wasn't as bad as all that. In a director commentary issued by Min-seok Ju, the strategic outpost exploit was addressed. Greetings, Descendants. This is the director of the First Descendant. I wish to share the dev's opinion regarding our recent issue, so-called Valby Run. Valby Run, strategic outpost farming using Valby, is currently taking place at the outpost within the fortress. This was certainly not intended. Due to our systematic mistake, mobs at the fortress outpost have been respawning infinitely, and as a result, the amount of item drop has increased 2 to 3 times higher than that of other popular locations. To maintain our game and to be adored by our players for a long time, we believe that it is wrong to just look on and leave the unbalanced content, which is providing biased rewards. However, as Valby Run became popular very quickly within our community, we assume many players have researched Valby to enjoy the newly discovered content. The current issue has occurred clearly by our own mistake, but we do not wish to suddenly remove it because it has already become a solid content of the First Descendant. So we would like to inform you that we're preparing a patch without completely blocking the Fortress Outpost issue and to keep allowing the players to enjoy playing like before. However, at the same time, we will update other farming locations to match the efficiency equivalent to the Fortress Outpost. Although we've insisted that no additional patch will be necessary next week, we have been preparing a new hotfix, patch 1.0.4, prioritized to apply improvements, so that we could finalize the week 5 development schedule. The main purpose for patch 1.0.4 is to reduce the cool time for Volga's strategic outpost and rebalance the locations for collecting void fragments. Also, we're planning to diversify methods for gold supply by enhancing gold efficiency within special operations. As we continue our live service for the First Descendant, we have no plan to respond by simply nerfing certain content for any gameplay which collides with our intentions. We respect every content created by our players and will do our best to create a game that all players can enjoy together for a long time. We appreciate your endless feedback and interest to our game and will endeavor to provide a better gaming environment that will fulfill your expectations. Thank you. Now, this has made almost everyone that plays the game very happy. This is an indicator that, at least on some level, the game devs are taking the players into consideration. However, this is seen as just a first step in a long list of steps that still need to be taken to make the game even more user-friendly. So what are some of the things that we'd like to see in the game aside from the bunny nerf? Well, I'm glad you asked. I have compiled a list of 15 things that we want in the First Descendant. Now keep in mind that some of these are extreme hot takes that could break everything about the game, and others are more passive quality of life fixes. This list was compiled over the course of several weeks from various sources and comments, and some of these are what I personally would just like to see added in the game. All right, let's go. 15 things we want added to the First Descendant. Number 1, we want to be able to delete items from the mailbox. I can't tell you how overwhelmingly frustrating it is to have to go to the mailbox, move an item one at a time to my inventory, and then I can delete it. Just let us effing delete it. Number 2, Kuiper shards and loot left on the battlefield needs to go to the mailbox, just like weapons and reactors that get left behind. I can't tell you how many times I've fretted over how much gold or Kuiper shards I may have missed that might have disappeared. So does it just go away, or do we still get it? I don't know. Maybe some better clarification on that. But if we're not picking it up, it needs to go somewhere, and I think it needs to go to the mailbox. Number 3, speaking of reactors, can we maybe reduce the amount of reactor drops just a little bit? I'm almost to the point where I can't stand the ka-ching sound whenever I'm out in hard mode, knowing that it's probably just another golden reactor that I'm gonna have to break. Number 4, let's get some in-game vendors. I would love to be able to take my accumulated gold or Kuiper shard currency, or maybe some other currency that's not RNG based, and go to a vendor and buy some effing items. I think that that would be a fantastic addition to the game. Maybe some weapons, maybe some mods. They could even put them on rotation. Heck, let's even put some of those high-end items in there. That would be amazing. Number 5, let's reduce the amount of material grind just a little bit. Sometimes it feels like there are just too many items that lead to just one thing. Let's see if we can compress that down just a little bit. I think that that would definitely take some of the grind off. Number 6, and this is a big one that's been going around the community for a while now, is reduce player collision. This is a big one. In fact, I think it needs to be implemented right away. There's nothing worse than you're doing your thing, or you're zipping along as Bunny, and every little thing suddenly makes you stop, just dead stop in the middle of everything you're doing. Or worse, you bump into another player and you get killed because of it. I hate the player collision in this game, and I think it needs to be addressed very fast. Number 7, better drop rates for code analyzers and code breakers. The devs did an amazing job with the vaults. Now we need the keys to open the vaults. These things are very, very hard to come by now. It seemed like they were easy in the first part of the game. Now it seems like they're just dropping at a paltry rate. I spent all day yesterday grinding, and I think I only got one that I actually needed. And that's just ridiculous. We could definitely do better. All right, number 8, please, let's fix the door to the boss room. I can't even. I don't even have the words anymore to describe the pain and suffering that is caused by knowing that the first person that gets to that room is going to zip through the door, and then we're going to have to teleport. Some of us are going to even have to teleport in the middle of trying to scoop up our precious loot. I think that there needs to be a timer on the door. Once the first person goes in, I think that it activates the timer, and the door should wait for the last person to enter, or it should be once we progress a certain distance into the room. I think that the door closing is just kind of crazy, and I just don't like it. I don't like anything about the door to the boss chamber. I hate it. I hate everything about it. I'm pretty sure I'm not alone on that. Number 9, this is one that I would like to see added to the game. I would like replayable cutscenes so that I can change characters and see how the cutscene would go with, say, a different character. I ran through the entire campaign on Bunny. Maybe I want to see that awesome epic cutscene with Valby or Ajax or Lepic. Let's have it. And if they can't do that where you change out characters, that's fine. But at least let us go and relive those cinematic moments, because I think that that would definitely benefit a lot of content creators that could capture that footage and use it in their own videos. Number 10, I think that there should be some kind of lore page for the game where we can go back and deep dive some of the game's content, some of its story, some of its history, aside from the content that we got in the campaign. And let's face it, most of us probably just skipped that anyway. But I know that there's going to be some lore daddies out there that's going to want to make some lore videos. So let's get some lore, or maybe a grimoire system like Destiny has. Number 11, strict penalties for AFK during co-op. This is also a big hot button topic that's going around in the community. Everyone's calling for a vote to kick option. I believe there should be stricter AFK and timers in the game. So shorter AFK timers and timeout penalties for AFK kick during certain missions. So I think, like, for example, if you disconnect or you leave during a mission or you go AFK and you get timed out, there's a cooldown penalty for coming back into the game. It's not going to be a ban, because I think that would be kind of harsh, because there are a lot of people that may lose connection and they may get kicked in that way. And it's not fair to ban someone for having a poor connection or connection issues or losing internet. But definitely a timer that says, hey, you went AFK, you were kicked from the game, and now you got to wait 5 minutes before you can get back in. Be more mindful of your other players. Something like that. I think it would definitely help bring more awareness to the problem. Number 12, make catalysts and activator blueprints boss drops. I know it's a hot take, but hear me out. I think that the game would benefit from having these things be boss drops. And they could be more random. They could be a little bit more everywhere in the game. And these aren't specifically tied to a minuscule amount of RNG that's tied into amorphous material. If these things were boss drops and we were just going about doing our thing, and then suddenly, oh, hey, wow, we got one of these. That's awesome. That would be amazing, right? And that kind of leads into number 13, which is one that I would like to see happen, but I already know it's probably going to break everything if it does. But here it is. I would like to have all 2 and 3% drop rates removed. I don't think that there should be an item that's less than 10%. So items that are less than 10% should just be bumped up to 10% drop rate at the very minimum. 2% just feels like an improbability. 10% feels like you still have a snowball's chance in hell. Just get rid of the 2 and 3% drop rates, and let's just go from there. Number 14, I think that there should be a drop rate modifier for solo activities that scales with activity difficulty. For example, if you're running hard mode content or a hard mode mission and you're doing that stuff solo, there should be a modifier that increases the amount of drops that you get. Rather than 1, you might get 2 or more. Only for certain items, of course. Number 15. And this is another hot one here. A hot take, all right? It's spicy. It's burning me. Number 15, there should be whole item drops from bosses. There should be the possibility of getting a complete, fully crafted item or weapon from bosses, or some kind of item that can be decrypted or analyzed or decoded for a complete item. Sort of like the exotic Ingrams in Destiny. I think going up against a boss, getting an item drop, and then taking that to the fabricator and opening it up, and oh wow, I've got a gun, or oh wow, I've got a completely crafted thing. I think that would be really cool. At least it's something that I would like to see. Could break the game, but who knows? At this point, let's just throw everything in there, right? Anyway, there it is. It's my 15 things that I think that we could use in the First Descendant to definitely make it just a little bit better, or make it a little bit more fun, or who knows, break the whole damn thing into oblivion. Obviously, there's more things that we'd like to see added than that, and I would love to hear all about it. So if you have some ideas for things that would make this game shine all the brighter, or break it beyond all recognition, then definitely pass those on. And you know what? I might make another one of these videos for you. So head to the comments and make with the suggestions. That's it for this video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, then be sure and leave a like. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe for more First Descendant content, as well as the occasional live stream. You can find me over on my Discord. And if you want to help support the channel directly, you can become a member of the Patreon and buy me a coffee. Links to all of that in the linkity-link place down below. As always, have an amazing day, everyone. Keep being awesome, and I will see you all in Albion.